$5,000 each.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 thriller Dead Sea. The film is written and directed by Phil Volkan and it stars Isabel Gravitt, Alexander Wraith, Dean Cameron, and we have Janaya Walton. Right, the film focuses on two young ladies. One of them, Kaya, is... she's having to kind of grow up before her time. She lost her mother about a year ago and she's having to raise her younger brother as her father is struggling to cope. But she agrees to go and have a day of fun with her best friend Tessa. They are off jet skiing with a couple of young local men. They have a fun-filled day, and then on the way back, tragedy strikes, and there is a jet ski crash, and they all end up in the water. And three of them are left floating. We've got Kaya, Tessa, and one of the lads. They think they are saved when a fishing boat turns up, and they are brought up on board, but in actual fact, their lives have just been put directly in danger, and then they have to figure out a way of trying to survive because this fisherman Ray is a vicious killer who is looking to profit from their organs and remains. Right, what are my thoughts on Dead Sea? Well, as thrillers go, this is, a nicely made thriller. It's well directed, well made. It's got some nicely fleshed out characters, especially Kaya, and it's a fairly run-of-the-mill thriller. The central performance, as I mentioned, is by Isabel Gravitt, who plays Kaya. I think she puts in a very strong performance here as a young lady who is, like, as I said before, she's kind of having to grow up way before her time. She's devoted to kind of helping her younger brother and raising him after the death of her mother and supporting her father and stuff. So she's kind of under protest goes for this fun day out with her friend Tessa, and it all goes terribly wrong. But because of the situation she found herself in, she's quite a tough, resourceful young lady. So when she's kind of backed into this corner, when she's taken by this fisherman and put in direct danger, and her friends put in direct danger, she kind of reverts, to this resourceful young woman who's kind of looking for options, looking for ways out, looking for ways to fight back. And she's easily, the best character in the film. Tessa, her best friend sort of thing, the actress that plays her as well, Janaya Walton, does a good job, but she's more of the terrified one, the terrified friend that kind of is too scared to kind of do anything sort of thing. So the kind of opposite sides of the coin, really, the characters. And then, because the problem is with this film, there's so few characters in it, all the characters need to be well written, on point, and kind of deliver what they want. And unfortunately, the two main villains here of this piece, you've got Ray, who plays like the fisherman that rescues them, and he's very forgettable as a character. He's not. It doesn't feel overly sinister, even though his actions are, really obviously pretty horrific. But it just doesn't come across as very menacing sort of thing. It's almost like he's gutting a fish sort of thing. There's nothing there really for you to kind of latch on and really dislike about the character other than his actions. And then you've got this other character that comes on board, like his doctor. So once he's captured them, he gets in touch with this doctor that kind of meets him on the ocean. And he's like the guy that takes the organs and stuff and cuts people open. And again, nothing there, nothing overly sinister. And I think in movies, I mean, that might be reality. They might just be normal people, these sort of people. But in a movie, you want to make them a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spiky. And they don't really do that, unfortunately. And then you've got like the graphic nature of the film, and it's quite at odds with each other at times. There's a couple of scenes where it is reasonably graphic, and violent. And then there's other times when you're really wanting it to kind of pull the trigger and really go for the violence, and it doesn't. And there are those moments where I really felt like I needed to see what this character Kaya was seeing through her own eyes. And, you know, pretty horrific stuff, pretty horrific scene. And the camera pulls away, and you're just like, oh, come on. You know, we needed to kind of feel that terror that she was feeling, and then you would understand what it takes for her to do what she does. You know, to kind of pluck that courage to kind of do what she needs to do to kind of help her and her friend survive. So I don't know. It just, for me, it just kind of it held back a little bit. And these films where there's very few characters, for me, if, like I said, they've got to be well written, these characters. They've got to be interesting characters, and you know the whole kind of plot of the film, because it's so tight. It really does need to deliver on, if it's a horror film, like the horror, if it's a thriller, on the tense moments, all that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't really. This one, it's, for me, it just, this was so close to being a much better film than it actually got. It turned out to be quite original, quite predictable. You know, a little bit like, you know, ticking certain boxes here and there. And I felt it kind of did a disservice to the performance by Isabel Gravita, who played this Kea. I thought she put in a fabulous performance here, but kind of, I think the film overall kind of let her, and certainly her performance, down a little bit. It's not a washout or anything. It's not a bad film. It's well made. If you like thrillers and you like the idea of a thriller on like a claustrophobic boat sort of thing, then you know you will probably enjoy aspects of this. But it's undoubtable that when you watch it and you think this could have been probably a lot better. So thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.